All right, so get this right. Wars fought not over land or like ideologies, but over fish.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds crazy, but it's true.
Fish. Cod,
Yeah,
specifically.
the hot wars.
Um, the UK against Iceland, battling for control of the North Atlantic fishing grounds.
It's pretty unbelievable when you think about it. Two NATO allies almost going to war over cod.
And it wasn't that long ago either. We're talking the 1950s to 1970s.
Yeah, the Cold War was raging, and these two were fighting over fish. It's wild.
To help us untangle this, we've got some great insights from an interview with Will
Oh,
Reynolds.
yeah, he's a lecturer in defense studies at King's College London.
Yeah, and he really knows his stuff when it comes to this whole Cod Wars thing.
Well, it's his specialty. So to really understand what happened, we got to go back to after World War II.
Yeah, the rules of the sea were kind of up in the air.
Right, like that old 3 nautical mile limit for territorial waters.
Yeah, the one based on how far a cannon could shoot, like way back when.
Exactly. It was totally outdated, especially for a country like Iceland.
Yeah, their economy was completely dependent on fishing.
I mean, we're talking a whopping 86% of Iceland's exports were fish.
So it was kind of a big deal for them.
Oh, yeah, way more than just dinner.
This was their livelihood.
Survival.
But of course, expanding their fishing zone, well, it bumped right up against British interests.
I mean, Britain had a huge trawling industry, tons of jobs at stake.
They were getting government subsidies too, right?
Yeah, heavily subsidized.
So for them, Iceland's move was a threat,
Absolutely. Threat to their livelihood.
and they saw it as setting a dangerous precedent.
I mean, what if everyone started claiming more of the ocean? Where would that leave Britain?
Yeah, that's a good point. They really felt strongly about freedom of the high seas.
Absolutely. So you can see how this clash set the stage for the first Cod War.
Which kicked off in 1958 when Iceland said, okay, 12 nautical miles. That's ours.
And the British trawlers, a lot of them based in Hull and Grimsby,
Yeah, big fishing ports.
they refused to leave.
So things escalated pretty quickly, right?
Oh, yeah. Enter the Royal Navy
Sent to protect the trawlers.
from the Icelandic Coast Guard.
And that led to some pretty tense standoffs.
Oh, yeah, some actual ramming incidents, too.
Warships and fishing boats playing chicken over cod.
It's kind of funny in a way, but it was serious business.
I bet it made for some good headlines.
Oh, absolutely. Cod on the line, fish fight. The British public ate it up.
Well, yeah. You know those trawlermen out there
The plight of the trawler, man.
putting themselves in harm's way. It must have put a lot of pressure on the government.
You can't back down when everyone's watching.
So what happened? How did this first Cod War end?
Well, Iceland got their 12-mile zone,
Okay, so they won. Yeah.
but they had to agree to quotas and monitoring systems to appease the British.
Kind of a compromise then?
I mean, on the surface, yeah, but the underlying tensions, those were still simmering, just waiting to boil over again.
And about a decade later they did. In 1972.
A new Icelandic government, even more assertive, decided to go for 50 miles.
Oh, 50 miles. That's a big jump.
It really impacted some key British fishing grounds, and that raised the stakes.
Yeah, I can imagine. So what did the British do?
Well, they sent the Royal Navy back in.
Of course. And Iceland. How did they respond to that?
They deployed you could say a secret weapon.
A secret weapon. What was that?
A net cutter, a warp cutter.
What?
It was originally designed for mine clearing, but it could slice right through a trawler's nets.
Oh, wow. That's pretty sneaky.
Effective, though. I mean, imagine the financial losses, the logistical nightmare.
Yeah, those British trawler men must have been fuming. All that hard work gone in an instant.
A lot of those guys were ex-Navy themselves, tough, independent.
Not the kind to back down easily.
Oh, no. There are stories of them blasting Rule Britannia over their loudspeakers just to show defiance.
Oh, man. Yeah, it's kind of funny, this whole thing. Like a bunch of kids fighting over a toy. But then again, not really.
No, not really, because things did get dangerous.
Oh, yeah. How so?
Well, the Icelandic Coast Guard actually fired live rounds at British ships.
Wow. Really? Live rounds.
Yeah, solid shot, not explosive, but still. And then there was a collision.
A collision.
Yeah, an Icelandic engineer was killed, a real tragedy. It shows you just how serious this whole thing was.
Yeah, even if it seems absurd on the surface. So Iceland won that round too, right?
Yeah, they got their 50-mile zone. But the agreement, it was fragile. Everyone knew it wouldn't be long before round 3.
And they were right. In 1975, it all kicked off again.
This time Iceland wanted a 200-mile zone.
200 miles, that's a huge chunk of ocean.
It was a game changer. But here's the thing. It actually aligned with British interests in the long run.
Wait, how so?
North Sea oil. It was becoming a big deal.
Ah, I see. Britain wanted that 200-mile zone for themselves, eventually.
Exactly. They just needed time.
Time to adjust, to find other sources of cod.
Right. So this third cod war, it became more about buying time than outright victory.
A strategic game of chess on the high seas.
That's a good way to put it. And both sides, they got a lot more sophisticated this time around.
Oh, in what way?
Well, the Royal Navy, they actually started compiling profiles on the Icelandic captains.
Profiles, like psychological profiles.
Yeah, noting their tendencies, their aggression levels.
You're kidding. Like Captain Aggressive, Captain Cautious. It's like something out of a movie.
It sounds crazy, but that's the level they were operating at.
Wow. And what about the Icelanders? Did they have any tricks up their sleeve?
Oh, they were pretty resourceful. One British captain even reported them deploying railway spikes.
Railway spikes. What, like to puncture the ships?
Yeah, it sounds more like something out of a pirate movie than a modern naval conflict.
It's just incredible.
It's amazing, yeah, the lengths they went to. But it wasn't all fun and games, you know? This was serious stuff.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Ships were getting damaged. People were getting hurt.
Right, and the Icelandic Coast Guard. But they weren't afraid to use those live rounds again.
And on top of all that, Iceland threatened to invoke Article 5 of the NATO treaty.
Against Britain, no less.
Which is, the collective defense clause.
Yeah.
The heart of the alliance.
It's crazy to think that fish could have brought NATO to the brink of a crisis.
It's just mind-boggling, really.
Well, it shows you how central fishing was to Iceland.
Their identity, their economy, their very survival.
They saw it as a matter of national sovereignty.
And they were ready to fight for it, tooth and nail.
And you know what? They were really smart about how they played it.
Oh, yeah. How so?
They used the media, public opinion to their advantage.
The underdog story. The small nation standing up to the big bully.
It resonated with a lot of people around the world.
David versus Goliath. It's a classic.
And it's a great example of soft power in action.
Right. Iceland knew they couldn't win a straight-up naval battle.
So they focused on winning hearts and minds.
Brilliant strategy. What about back in Britain, though? How was the public reacting to all this?
Well, Reynolds mentioned that at first support was really strong.
Yeah, makes sense. Patriotism, protecting British interests.
Right. Plus, the media was painting Iceland as the aggressor.
But I imagine that started to change as the conflicts dragged on.
Yeah, exactly. As the costs mounted, both financial and in terms of, well, damaged ships, strained relations.
That must have been a real headache for the British government.
Oh, absolutely. Trying to protect a struggling industry, manage international relations, and stay committed to NATO.
All while the Cold War was looming in the background.
Exactly. The last thing they wanted was a rift within NATO.
Especially over fish, of all things.
It's almost comical when you think about it. Iceland threatening to invoke Article 5 because of cod.
It's surreal.
It really highlights how these seemingly small disputes can have huge ripple effects.
And it reminds us to try to understand everyone's motivations. Why are they doing what they're doing?
Even when it seems completely bonkers on the surface.
Right, like ramming ships and cutting nets and blasting music.
And don't forget the railway spikes.
It's like a mix of naval warfare and a schoolyard brawl.
Well, they had to be creative, you know?
Right. The Royal Navy couldn't just go all out on a NATO ally.
And the Icelandic Coast Guard had to find ways to level the playing field.
So they had to think outside the box.
Improvise, adapt.
And those Icelandic captains, they were pretty bold, weren't they?
Oh, yeah, pushing the limits, knowing the Royal Navy had to play by the rules.
It's kind of brilliant, in a way. So, after all that, who came out on top?
Well, in the end, Iceland got their 200-mile zone.
So they achieved their goal.
They did. The Third Cod War marked the end of large-scale British fishing in those waters.
But didn't Britain buy themselves some time, though? With their delaying tactics?
Yeah, they did. They had time to adjust their economy, find other places to fish.
So it wasn't a total loss for them?
No, not at all. And they did eventually get their own 200-mile zone, too, for that North Sea oil.
So it's like everyone kind of won, in a way.
Yeah, you could say that Iceland secured their fishing grounds. Britain mitigated the economic impact.
And we got a fascinating story out of it.
Exactly. But beyond the immediate outcome, the Cod Wars had a lasting impact.
Oh, yeah. In what way?
They changed international law, how we think about resource management.
It's amazing how these seemingly small conflicts can have such big consequences.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really makes you think, doesn't it? Like those Cod Wars weren't just some weird historical blip. They actually changed how we think about like sharing resources on a global scale.
Absolutely, yeah. They kind of expose the flaws in the existing maritime law.
Right.
Like before all this, no one could really agree on how far a country's waters extended, especially when it came to fishing.
Yeah, that old 3 mile limit, it didn't cut it anymore.
Not at all. And the Cod Wars, well, they forced everyone to face that fact.
So basically those battles over cod,
Yeah.
they kind of paved the way for a more stable system for the oceans.
Yeah, exactly. They were like a key step towards the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea.
The one adopted in 1982.
That's the one. It laid out like a whole framework for managing the oceans, including that 200 nautical mile exclusive economic zone.
EEE.
Exactly. Gives coastal states more control over fishing and resources in their zone.
So hold on. Something that started as like a local fight between Britain and Iceland, it actually helped shape global law, the law that affects everyone today.
Pretty much, yeah. It's a perfect example of how even small conflicts, they can have these huge ripple effects.
It really is. And it just shows how important it is to work together, to find ways to balance what countries want with what's best for, the planet, like sustainability.
Couldn't agree more. You can't talk about the Cod Wars without talking about overfishing.
Right. It was a major driver of the whole conflict.
And it's still a problem today. We see it all over the world. Disputes over water rights, oil and gas, even minerals. It's like we haven't really learned from the Cod Wars.
It seems that way sometimes.
And it's not just about the resources themselves, it's about everything that's connected.
Oh, yeah. The environment, the economy, national security, international relations, it's all tangled up together.
Exactly. So what can we take away from all this? From these Cod Wars? What can we learn?
Yeah, that's the big question.
Well, first off, we need clear rules.
Makes sense.
International agreements that everyone sticks to, so we can avoid these kinds of resource conflicts.
Right.
But it's not just about rules, it's about responsibility.
Okay.
We need to manage resources sustainably, so there's enough for everyone, now and in the future.
And we need to find ways to work together.
Absolutely. Cooperation, not conflict. That's the key.
It's a powerful message, and one that's more relevant than ever. So next time you're enjoying some fish and chips, or maybe you hear about a fight over some seemingly unimportant resource, remember the Cod Wars.
Exactly.
They're a reminder that our world, it's all connected. And that working together, well, it's the only way forward.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And hey, if you enjoyed this little deep dive into history, make sure you subscribe to the Deep Dive. We'll be back soon with another fascinating story, taking you to a corner of history or science you probably never even knew existed. Until then, keep exploring and keep learning.